How you guys doing? This is the Eno and zjuice show. This is episode 16, and we got a guest here today. I'd like to introduce Kirsten, and zjuice. Let's get right into it.
All right, guys. We welcome in Kirsten here today. I appreciate you being on the show with us. We love to hear your opinions today. I think it's going to be a great episode. And today I just been feeling this really lately, like because of the dating pool. Everybody say it got piss in it. It might have a little SARS in it. So I just want to know, like, what is your limit? Like, do people date multiple people at one time? Like, what is everyone's standard on that? I understand there's no like real standard, but how does everybody feel like that? Like me personally, I've dated multiple people before, and I realized it just wasn't worth the headache for me. It was too much going on, but you know.
Well, first and foremost, I think what it boils down to is what people look at as dating. What is your definition of dating? Um, and for me personally, dating is where you may be getting to know multiple people at one time. So some people you don't actually, you talk on the phone to, you text, you go out to public functions. You may have some that you're not even intimate with at all. Some people think including intimacy is dating. Some people think intimacy is only for exclusivity. So it really just boils down to what you think of when it comes to dating. So for me personally, I'm really a one man woman. I don't like to date multiple people. However, if I have a few guys that are trying to get to know me and they all seem to be on the same playing level field, I'll let the best man win. And see who is more serious, because people like to play roles too, where they seem like the ideal person right when you first meet them, and then their true colors show after a while, and then you're like, oh, you really aren't who I thought you were. So you know, I've been in serious relationships, and being in serious relationships after dating a little bit, you realize that you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket right away. You have to have people to earn it, and really show that they deserve your time and your energy. So I'll say I've been on both ends of the spectrum where I've dated multiple people, and I've also been on the ends of the spectrum where I only date one person. So as far as like dating multiple people at one time, I probably say I've been more so like that after getting out of a serious relationship, and just like, it's just trying to get comfortable dating again. I don't see an issue with it as long as you're not putting yourself or others in danger. For some reason, condoms seem to be a non-existent thing in today's society. So, if you're gonna make a decision like that, I feel as though you need to have one partner and stick to that one partner. But if you are being safe and not condoning that you just sleep with everyone you date. I'm not saying that, but if you're being safe and you're into more than one person, then live your life. You know, um, how do you know what you like if you don't see what you like? You can't just think one person is going to have it all, and then not even that. Sometimes people have other things that you can deal with from them because they have better things to offer than the other person. You know, I feel like that's how people end up settling for situations because they're like, oh, this is good. And then they stick with it. Versus just like juggling your options. You got to see, what, actually, this person is good, but they're just not good for me. I actually like them better. I like the way they make me feel better, you know? And then I've also been on the other end of the spectrum where it's like pretty much now where I am like, I don't want to date multiple people. I don't have the energy for it. And it does take energy because you have to entertain different multiple personalities, different times. Some people are available for some things. Some people, it's just a lot of different things you got to keep up with, different attitudes. It's just a lot, and I barely got time for my own attitude. I don't want to deal with multiple attitudes. So I'm really like just kind of like in the mode where I'm one and done. And if I'm dating you and it's just not looking good, I'll cut you off and be by myself, and I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with it. So really, I feel like just boils down to where you are in life, what you're looking for, what you desire, and also what your comfortability is, what your definition of dating is. Because me, and then too, what are you dating for? For me personally, I date for purpose. So I'm not dating just because we look good together. No, the whole purpose of you and I dating, if we're dating, is that we're going to build together and we're going to grow together. And the goal is marriage. And maybe not right away, of course, it takes time, but ultimately you're looking for someone to build with. And yeah, it
Yeah,
may not work out, which is fine, but I'm not looking for somebody to just be, oh, I dated when I was 20 or 25. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm damn near
yeah.
30. I want substance. And so it has to be solid. And if it's not solid, I don't want it. End
I
of story.
concur
I
with
don't care.
Kirsten.
I don't care
Yeah,
about
go.
anything else.
All right. Well, how you feel, the money?
Oh, well, I mean, personally, I totally agree. Like, a younger me might have wanted to date multiple people at the same time because I looked at it from an aspect to where it's just dating, it's getting to know people. But
Hmm.
as I gotten older, it's exhausting. Just as
Hmm.
Kirsten said, like I don't have the energy to entertain multiple personalities and things like that nature. But
Hmm.
I've been there before and I completely understand. But I can't move like I used to move. I don't like the old me, you know.
Hmm.
I'm actually just trying to date with purpose, like just as Kirsten was saying, like, but I want to build with somebody, but I got a lot of building to do myself. So personally, I'm not in the dating world right now, but I just know I got to build myself up, like first and foremost, before I'm ready for anything beyond myself. But yeah, I totally agree. Kirsten, you hit the nail on the head with that one.
Because you don't know
Okay.
how much I'm living the life right now.
Yeah,
Well, that also brings me to my next point. Like, okay, so like I know I'm personally a one woman man, and y'all seem to be one person people. Are you okay with that one person dating other people?
Yeah, I personally don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I might get a little jealous in there. But ultimately, you have to see if I'm a good fit for you. I don't want anybody secluding me because I just want them to seclude me because I'm secluding them. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, I am a one person woman, but I definitely can be a multiple person woman too. I'm
yeah,
definitely ambidextrous. So get
yeah,
that. But ultimately, my desire is different from what I am. So I don't have an issue with them weaning me out because that's what I want them to do. I don't want anyone to feel like they have
waste your
to
time.
guess and play what if, because that's how people
Yeah,
get in marriages and relationships they really didn't want to be in because they felt like they had to make a decision. I don't want anybody to feel like that. I want them to just dang naturally choose me. The best relationships I've been in is where I have always been the one who has naturally been chosen. You
right.
know what I'm saying? And that's why I've always been in long-term relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've very seldom been in very short relationships. I think I've only been in two short relationships in my like adult, semi-adult life.
Yeah,
But honestly, every relationship I have been in has been 3 years plus. That's probably the shortest relationship I've been in, actually a 3-year relationship. So it's like I personally don't like to have people like, oh, I don't want to lose her. I could tell she's great. So I feel like I got to do this and that in order to keep her, but I really ain't ready for her. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? If anything, usually the guys wean themselves out that way too. You know what I'm saying? And end up, going about it a different way. So yeah, I don't have a problem with them dating other people. You just can't be out here though. I'm telling you, like if we physical, nah. Like
yeah.
if you
It's a
if
limit,
you gonna be I'm it ain't even no limit with me. I'm straight. If you're being physical with other people, don't mess with me. Don't mess with me.
right?
Cause it's a whole nother ball game out here. You know what I'm saying? That's one request that I have. If you physical with other people, don't mess with me. Just leave me alone. Don't even bother me. Just talk to me. Just talk to me. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But I ain't into all that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really the only thing that really bothers me. And then don't lie. Just be honest with me. You know what I'm saying? Um, because I am confident in what I bring to the table, and I know that what I have to bring to the table will wean them other people out anyway. You're gonna be like, dang, like don't nobody compare to her. I need her in my life. And
Yeah.
if you end up not wanting me in your life, that's because you can't handle me. So you don't need me. You don't. I don't belong there anyway. So that's just kind of how I look at it.
So,
I don't
can
mind.
you don't mind if I jump off of that topic real quick?
No, go ahead. I'm done
Okay.
talking. I'll talk your ears off.
No, I just want to jump in because it honestly as a man, and it's like I would like to think that she's only dating me, but I know it's not in a perfect world. It's not like this isn't a perfect world. Like people get swayed over every day. They can be going to the store or something. They might get hit up by somebody that might attract their interest.
Hmm.
I'm starting to understand that like I'm minding a business that, minds me. So that's how I
Right.
look at it. I don't want to just sit here and just be all naive, like, oh, she's only talking to me. I want to be official before I can actually believe I'm the only one. And that's
Hmm.
why I don't date that much because I know it's a lot of people. It's a trial period. I'm not really down for. Like it has to be
Hmm.
solid before I even jump off into that dating realm where it's like, am I the only one? I don't like to feel like I gotta think about like if she not talking to me, who's she talking to? So
Right.
once it come down to actually dating, I would like to see somebody meet me halfway, like equally yoked. I always like to say
Right.
that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
I can
definitely.
understand that.
Yeah, and I would say it took a lot for me because honestly, younger me, I mean, even though I dated multiple people, like once I became like it was like out of like you said, like it was after a relationship or something where it was just like, okay, I'm gonna just do my thing. But like being a one person like type of guy, like younger me, I couldn't handle like if you was dating somebody else. Cause it was like if I'm only dealing with you, why you gotta deal with all these other people? And but I was also like, if okay, if you are gonna deal with these other people, choose them because I don't ever want to be the option. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be an option in
Hmm.
your life. Like if you gotta choose
Yeah,
between me and somebody else, always choose them because clearly something I'm not doing something right. But
yeah,
that was just my own perspective. Older me now is just like you do what you do. I know who I am. And if you don't mess with me, that's your loss because I
Right.
already know where I'm headed. And it's like,
Hmm.
it's either you going to choose this life or you're not.
Right.
yeah. And be careful because you might bump into the "may the best man win" stereotype. And remember, you're not the
But
only one competing.
but if that's the
Right.
case, I'm not competing on purpose.
Exactly.
I
That's when I
fail
bag
tests
out.
on purpose. I'm a good
Right.
test
And that's
taker.
right. And that's how I feel about it. Because I'm a may the best man win kind of shorty. I am. I ain't
As
gonna
you
lie to you.
should, as you should.
Because, granted, I do have some terrible, terrible people that have come at me. But I will say that I encountered more men like that when I was in my self-love period and I didn't really love myself as much and I was really kind of accepting any kind of man and I didn't even realize it, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, they're good people, but they were terrible men and they had, their values were messed up. They were good people, but like when it comes to how you should treat a woman and how you should value a woman, their values were messed up. They had a lot of stuff that just was messed up about them. But like
Yeah,
as I have respected myself and loved myself and just really built on me, I noticed that the kind of men that have been approaching me are different. Granted, a lot of them still on BS, but they're respectable men for the most part. They have more to bring to the table than just me bringing the table by myself. Or they might have issues with just communicating, or they may not just communicate the way I think they should. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not major things that are super terrible. I feel like they can handle situations better, but it's not the things that I was really dealing with before. You know what I'm saying? They might still fade off like they used to when they were younger instead of communicating, hey, I actually don't want the situation. But they're not terrible men that I'm coming across. So I said it to say, at the end of the day, the caliber of men that I'm being introduced to, or not even introduced to, that are coming my way, or I'm bumping into, or just meeting randomly. You know what I'm saying? Even like I said, I'm not even looking, I'm not even dating. But the caliber of men that I've run into have been much different. And it's like, I think the type of men that I run into realize that I am a good woman. And either they're gonna do what it take or they not. And either way it go, I ain't worried. It's not
Yeah.
it's like really kind of in a way none of my business because I'm minding my business, and the man that I'm supposed to be with, it'll come easy. It'll be easy. I won't have to think about it. I won't have to stress about it. The relationship definitely not gonna be perfect. It's gonna take work on both ends, but at the end of the day, it'll be natural. It'll be like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
So
You know it when it comes.
Yeah, at
right,
the end of the day, the good outweighs the bad. That's
Always.
all you
right,
look for.
Yeah, you gotta find that person that's willing to put the effort in, no matter no matter the case, no matter the chase. It's not about the
right.
games. It's about this is what I want, and this is how I'm going to keep that around.
Okay.
So, another topic we
So
like to bring in Z Juice.
yeah, so that makes me wonder, like, okay, you find the right one, y'all rocking, right? Everything's going good. And then y'all had y'all agreement, y'all disagreements, like your first disagreement. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, like you be living on that cloud nine and that
Mm-hmm.
honeymoon stage, and then that first real disagreement come through. And it's like, how do you handle that? Do you give up this good person, or do you work it out? Like, what do you do in those instances?
When y'all had y'all first disagreement, I feel like y'all should work it out because if it's been good, it's something that can be worked out. But coming from a man's standpoint, he got to know how to put his foot down in order to have some type of balance. Because when it comes to decision making, I feel like a man should hold his. That's where I lacked in my past little situationships. Because when it got to that disagreement time, I was too much into compromising because I thought I was gonna lose him if I put my foot down. But really, it's the opposite. Like as a man should, he should have a steady position, and that should lead. And when she sees that, she can see that he leads. That's where I'm backtracking and fixing and working on that now, just from a man's
Well,
point of view.
I'm sorry, were you done talking?
Yeah,
Um, well, in that regard, I do agree that a man should have his foot down, but he also should be open to compromise. So you do need a balance, you know. You can't just be all, oh, I'm gonna put my foot down. I'm a man. This is how it's going to go. This makes sense for our relationship. This is what I say. No, it should be a balance of compromise and a balance of let me lead. You can be still be a leading man and compromise. So I want you to know that. I do
okay,
think that um, that's a conversation that should be had prior to a disagreement. You need to be talking to each other while getting to know each other. Well, how are you when you're upset? Oh, okay. How do you like to be talked to? Do you want to be left alone? Do you want me to, bother you? Do you need to talk about it right then and there? Do you need space? How is your attitude?
yeah,
I think these are conversations that need to be had before a disagreement even comes in place, or things get even that serious because you need to know how to deal with that person. Everybody is different. And just because you like to be dealt with a certain way doesn't mean that the other party does, you know? So I think that's important. It's also a part of love languages, knowing how to deal with your partner. I give an example. My previous partner, I like to deal with stuff right then and there, nip it in the butt right then and there. Oh, you have an attitude? Okay, let's talk about it. What is it that's pissed you off? This is what's pissed me off. Let's talk about it. And I had a partner who was on the opposite end of the spectrum where he needed at least a week. It don't matter what it was. If he hot, he need a week. And a week was too long for me. I disappear in a week, quick.
yeah,
I'm out, And so we had to. It took us a very long time to get to the point where we had that conversation and he understood if you go too long without talking to me, I'm gonna think you don't want to be here, and I'll bounce out. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna find somebody else, but understand people still looking. So it ain't hard for me to look if I think you left, or it ain't hard for me to see if I think you left. But understand that's not the whole goal. The whole goal is I want to talk to you and resolve the issue. And if I feel like you don't want to resolve it and then you just up and disappear, because he would disappear and wouldn't say anything to me. He just needed to fully get away and not talk. And so we had to have a conversation like, hey, that's too long for me. I can't deal with that, but I can give you space. I can give you 2 to 3 days without talking to me. And if you tell me at that moment, hey, I can't talk to you right now, I don't want to talk to you right now, I need you to just leave, or I need to just leave, I can give you your space. But if you don't tell me anything and you just walk out, or you don't tell me anything and you just stop talking to me, or you just disappear, I'm gonna think the relationship's over. So that's a conversation we had to have. And if we had it, sooner in the relationship, I think a lot of things would have been resolved and easier to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Communication is key.
Right, communication. So I feel like when it comes to that first disagreement, for one, it should be a conversation that's had beforehand. How do you handle disagreements? How do you handle conflict? What is the best way to communicate with you? But if you don't get to that point beforehand during that disagreement, I don't think that it should be over. I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. All right. If you all need your space on the disagreement, if the person, some people are writers. I'm a writer. I write when I can talk to you face to face, but sometimes I can express myself better via writing and say, hey, this is how I feel. When you get a chance to calm down, maybe we can talk about this at a later date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my partner was a reader, you know. He could, I'm sorry, can y'all hear that?
No, that's
Yeah,
okay.
we're good. We're
Okay.
good.
Um, my partner wasn't necessarily someone who could communicate right then and there. He needed some time, excuse me. Um,
Mhm.
but um, I'm sorry, I like to get a little quieter space. Um, but he liked to read, so I like to write. He liked to read, and he could read it over and over and absorb what I was trying to say. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? What I really meant. So I really just think it boils down to actually having that conversation. And if you're not able to do it beforehand and you just happen to run into a disagreement, after the fact, take some time, you cool off, they cool off, and then maybe you can, either call and talk about it. And if you're not able to talk, because you got to remember, you're emotional. You can't hear each other when you're emotional. You know what I'm saying? You can't digest, you can't dissect, you can't process. So get some cool down time. And then if you can't talk about it over the phone or talk about it face to face, send a text, send an
Yeah.
email, write a letter, and then that way you can come face to face, have a conversation, and hear each other clearly about what's going on, and then make the decision on whether or not you want to move forward or not. And if you decide you want to move forward, then you discuss, okay, how do we resolve this issue moving forward so that we don't keep having communicate the same way when it comes to disagreements? How can we change the way we're communicating with each other?
Man, you done said it. You really cracking the code here. You unlocking some truths that need to be heard. You are very mindful on the subject.
Well, shoot, I ain't got nothing to do but think.
Yeah.
That's what happens
Yeah.
when you
Think it
keep to
through.
yourself.
Yeah.
Think, and I'll say, like, I'm not a perfect person. I've never been perfect, but I've been through a lot of situations that have been crazy, and I've been crazy as psycho,
Yeah.
not bad psycho, the good ones you keep around, but still you better watch yourself, you
Yeah.
know. And just learning from the things that I've been the situations I've been in and the things that I've done. It's like I really, in my heart, I'm a good person, and I deserve a good person, and I deserve to have the best that God has to offer. And so, what can I do to change myself in order to better situations? So everything that I've been through, I've tried to learn from. You know what I'm saying? And it's really hard too because I'm a free spirit person, right?
Yeah.
I'm all about going with the flow, going with how I feel in that moment. I'm not really good on stipulations and rules and having. I have structure, but I really, excuse me, like to flap my arms and let them flow in the wind. So a lot of stuff I do is spur of the moment. Oh, I feel like doing this right now, so whatever. It's whatever. If I take a L, I take a L. But I've had to kind of step back on a lot of things and just kind of, all right, this isn't working. So what do I need to do to change or work this out? And so just a lot of thinking and learning and just learning from the things that I've experienced. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I got it all figured out because I don't, but I will say that I damn sure ain't what I used to be. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. We all take need the time to kind of mold ourselves from unlike from where we came from our past. but still
Mm-hmm.
paying attention along the way without completely losing ourselves amongst growing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel the same way. It's a lot going on with this dating stuff, and it's hard to really tell, you know, what
Yeah.
what to really do. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's why I'm like, that's why I wonder, like how people heads are, because that's a major point. Like how you said with communication,
Mm-hmm.
like if you're not communicating, how am I supposed to understand what you feel? Like I had a lot of women where it was like you just automatically assume that I'm supposed to know what you thinking about, talking about, or anything. And it's like I used to have a saying, it was like, all right, you can't expect someone to know something that you didn't try to teach them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, unless you try to give them that knowledge first, you can't hold it against them because
Mm-hmm.
everybody walks different paths of life.
People
But
don't know what you know.
Right.
right, right. So it's like if you don't communicate and set those boundaries and those standards, I learned that people cross that line every time. If you don't draw that line in the sand, people gonna cross it.
Well,
And
I think another. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go.
well, no, I mean like I wouldn't say like, okay, so you draw your line in the sand, but then you also wait out. Like I stopped dating for a long time. And I started because I drew that line in the sand and it was like, okay, I'm gonna stop accepting certain shit in my life
Mm-hmm.
because I feel my life is supposed to go this way. And when I
Mm-hmm.
stopped accepting all that stuff and I looked and waited for my options to come to me, but prepared myself for those options. Self reflection is a good thing too. You got to have accountability in this. If you
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
accountability, you're not going to get anywhere. So,
Right.
I learned, focus on me, work on me, and then the things that I'm requiring don't seem so far fetched because
Right.
Yeah.
I'm deserving of it.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
kind of
like as
fall
long
in
as
hand.
yeah, and you got to put yourself in that position to take advantage of those opportunities. If
Yeah.
you, yeah, a lot of people want the opportunity, but they don't want to set themselves up for it. So if you're not setting yourself up for that opportunity to come to you, you're never going to be able to take advantage of it when it does.
Exactly. You won't have
Well,
it
I
at the
think,
best you can have it. You'll have it as like something that you can kind of grasp rather than having something that you can totally grasp and keep it for yourself. You got to prepare
and
yourself for it.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that, Giselle, because at the end of the day, what it boils down to is self. What have, where are you in your life? And a lot of people have not addressed their traumas or their past pain or their baggage. And the only way that you can be successful, period, in any relationship is by addressing the relationship with yourself first. And so a lot of people can't draw a line in the sand because they don't even know what they really want. They don't even know what they really feel. They don't even understand what they're really trying to communicate because they don't understand themselves, you know? And so, taking that time away. And I think that's why a lot of the relationships fail. You're so busy trying to get to know somebody else and build with them. You ain't even built with yourself and got to know yourself yet. So, how can you love on me and you ain't loved on you? How can you try to figure this situation out when you ain't even figured it out with yourself first? And I think that's where a lot of things just don't, the communication fails or the problems start because you can't figure this problem out when you didn't do 2 plus 2 first. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you're going to be able to get to pre-calc when you ain't even past algebra. You can't do it. There's no way.
Yeah.
And so I think, you hit it on the head with just the only way to set those boundaries and put things in place is by addressing within yourself first. Who are you? What do I want? What do I need to heal from? What do I need to fix within me? And when you're able to answer those questions and fix those issues and those problems, you're able to see clearly, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I'm standing for. This is what I'm not standing for. And it's clear cut and dry. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Maybe, should be, could be, nothing. There is no exception. And so, with that being said, yeah, you may leave a little bit of wiggle room for somebody who think it might be worth it, but not no wiggle room to where they can do something repugnant, and you like, oh, okay, maybe not. It might just be okay. Maybe I can compromise in this area, but for the most part, you're not going to be changing yourself because you know who you are and you know what you want and what you desire. And
Yeah.
people just don't. They just don't. It's a lot of pain going around that people
Too
think
much.
they can just sprinkle on other people, or they can sweep it under a rug and forget about it. And people don't understand, everything comes around full circle. It comes back. And then another thing too, people think that getting a partner means they complete you. No, you complete yourself. You complete yourself and they come completed, and then y'all come together and y'all 200%.
True.
It's not a 50-50. And because of that, people can't put their foot down in situations, and they can't compromise because they haven't compromised with themselves. They can't, make these decisions because they think that somebody is supposed to complete them. No, you're not. That's not how it go. You're supposed to come full. Your cup is supposed to run us over. That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. You didn't said it. You said it. You said a lot, but you definitely said like your truth is definitely something that need to be heard. I just want to say, guys, this is the 30-minute timer. We had a great episode, and
Ooh, I
I'm glad
am
we
not
had you on here,
done.
Kirsten, because you came with the heat rocks for real. And
Thank
I'm
you.
And
glad we put something together.
we gonna have to start pushing the hour shows or something because
Yeah, I know.
this ain't enough right here.
Shoot, the
Right,
Zoom
that's
meeting
it.
only give us a certain amount of time. It's a countdown. It's like 3 minutes and 16 seconds left.
Well, if you get a different type of account, you can get it. I'm not sure which one it is, but they give you unlimited. I can't remember what it is
Oh
though.
yeah.
I
Is
have
it
to
is the
converse with
pay to
somebody
play?
about it. I'm not sure if it's pay to play, but I can find out.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Please
yeah.
let us know because man, I was ready and we still got like one or two more topics. I was like,
Yeah.
it's not enough.
Well, just for the podcast purposes, we gotta cut it short. But do you mind if we use this as video, or you
Oh,
feel
sure. Go ahead. Feel
you
free to
like it?
use it however you want.
Okay, we'll have this on Spotify and YouTube. Not too long from now. I will work on it personally.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for having me as a guest, and I look forward to talking to y'all soon. If y'all
Of
ever need me
course.
again, just holler.
Yes, we will need you.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate you because I enjoyed this.
All right. Well, love y'all. Be
Love you
safe.
too. All right, you
Love
too,
you too.
love.
Be safe.
All right. Bye bye.